Welcome to It Was Never You, where we talk about narcissism, complex PTSD, and recovery. I know I've said this before in previous videos, but it is really important for us always to get to the root of an issue. Narcissism is usually generational through families. It goes from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next, until someone finally realizes, hey, wait a second, something isn't right here, and this has been something that has been occurring in our family bloodline for generations. You got to get to the root of it, the root of the issue. And yes, one person can impact a whole family, a whole generational line. This thing, whatever you want to call it, can be broken, and it can start with you and your children, or you and your spouse, or you and your friends. We treat symptoms, but we don't like to dig deeper into the root cause of the problems. Say, for example, you start with yourself. Your beliefs about the world, your beliefs about who you are, are those correct, or are those voices and words that have been spoken over you from childhood that you need to alter and that you need to rewire in your brain? Your brain has an amazing capacity to rewire itself, but you have to be conscious of what you're thinking. It's not an easy process. It is sometimes quite painful in that you're going to have to sift through all these things, and sometimes memories will pop up that you choose otherwise not to remember. And then you have to combat the gaslighting. What you've been told is the truth versus what is the truth. Are your memories real? Yes, they're real. Did that heinous thing actually happen? No matter how many times you're told it didn't happen, if your memory is that it did happen, then it did happen. And you can get other people, if you have them in your life, to corroborate your memories so that you can because what happens with narcissistic abuse is a lot of times you have memory gaps because of the gaslighting, because of the projection, because of the tactics that are used. So in a sense, this kind of leaves you to feel as if you're a shell of yourself, not having lived your life. But once you set up boundaries, and once you work on the root causes of what your beliefs are about yourself versus what is actually reality, your memories, they may come back as flickers, and you may not want them to come back. So sometimes what I would do is I'd have a memory, and it would not be something that I wanted to remember, and it was just a natural response. I shake my head as if that would get rid of it. But no, it's coming up for you to process it. It's coming up for you to be able to, now you're able to deal with it. Memories return when you're able to deal with them. And then you can get to the root of that belief or that thought process. You may be dealing with obsessive compulsive disorder, and not in the sense that I have to have my house clean. Obsessive compulsive disorder comes in many forms. You can ruminate over something where you get so obsessed, where that worry or that thought becomes your idol. That is something that you must try to correct in yourself, whether it be with therapy, whether it be with the Word of God, whether it be whatever avenue you choose to go about correcting that. These are things that we have to dig deep within ourselves to get. The whole point of this video is to get to the root. Why do I believe that I am not intelligent? Why do I believe that people don't like me? Why do I believe that I am not good enough? What is the root cause of that? And this is not to lay blame to your family of origin. This is not to sit in anger or hatred or bitterness, because the root of bitterness will cause you much harm in your life, and you're just basically poisoning yourself. It's to bring the trauma to the surface, realize where it comes from, correct it for yourself, for your future generations in your family, because these chains that keep you jailed in a jail cell when the door is already open and the price has already been paid for you, we still sit there. It's like those studies that they do. with animals, and then they zap them, and then they open the door and the animals just sit there because they think you're not going to get zapped. Walk out the door. It's open. It's open. Dig to the root with, like I said, with a therapist, with a support system, with whoever. Dig to the root, and you can overcome.